Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali. It's necessary for me to speak against bed bucking because it then sends an unnatural, imbalanced impression that I'm just here to excoriate the black female swirlers. If you hear laughter in background, that's Dr. She, who is, we live in a happy home for the most part. We have our trials and tribulations, but we make it through because we are so happy. All right. Now, as I was saying, I have to go over this because it's been two situations and I don't embrace feminism. And so I know there's a different duty on each of us in our societies. And the more civilized the society is going to be, it's not going to be based on whether they have fancy buildings. It's going to be based if they know how to integrate individually with reality, men and women. Men are different. Obviously, the feminists are being embarrassed to the hilt by that in women's athletics. Now, that said, so I'm going to put this together a little bit more gently, and because I also don't want to be a Cynthia G type, and I had a person who was all on board for my Fukushima message one day out of the blue. Drop me or tag me in a story where this YouTuber, black woman or whatever, I didn't watch that much, but they were talking about abusive men, and they would mention abusive white men, and then every now and then they would intersperse abusive black men, like they were both equal, without taking into account how we have been systematically driven out of our daggone minds. And there's no way, not in a million years, with all the wars that Europeans and Americans perpetrate so that they can engage in them, and all the genocides that they've committed and are now committing with that sea moss and that rice grown in Fukushima, and they just have committed themselves, the U.S. military, to buying up bulk quantities of all Japanese seafood. That's crazy. I ain't going to get into it, but there's no comparison between a black man and a black woman. And I also need to expound. I'll do a whole nother share on it, but I love black men. You got to be insane not to love black men. That just makes no daggone sense, okay? So getting on with this, though, there are, in any society, and that's what I'm going to show late or coming up, there's always going to be people who are confused and broken by whiteism, which I know I do not use the term white supremacy because they have proven themselves when they killed that ocean to not be at all supreme, because to do such a thing and then deliberately hide it from the world. They know about this stuff. That's why I got all the textbooks that I read. And so I can see historically from almost day one, they've known the danger of radiation and they're not saying anything. So you're not supreme when you destroy the only planet we have. All right? So these two bedbucks that I'm going to highlight here, this one is Nathaniel Huey, and it was a murder-suicide where he crashed their SUV after he slaughtered Chicago parents, their two young sons, and their dogs. I don't want to go over the horror of this just crime, but there is Huey, who I suppose he was a security, he was very much into guns. I can't say I'm into guns, but I do believe in protecting myself. We're pro-gun. We definitely don't want them coming, taking away our guns, because we know they'll just give it to the criminals deliberately. They'll find the most depraved folks around to then terrorize all the people who were dumb enough to believe that the unentitled snakes of America has their best interests at heart. And so my condolences to the family members still remaining who lost their loved ones. I do not support violence, not in any way, shape, or form. And that's one of the problems is when you're a bedbug, you are leaving Black society because you have this notion in your head that you're superior to us. And that the only way to prove that is through hooking up with a non-Black woman. Go on with your bad self. We don't want you because you are actually, your thinking is catastrophically broken. As Dr. Laila Africa, oh, ashe to that mighty man. Whoa. He said that getting together with a non-Black woman is a homosexual act because you are fleeing the obvious carnage that has been invested upon an innocent people, Black us. We did not cause all this chaos and confusion to ourselves. A further way, as Brother Yapo Yapo always so clear-mindedly, wisely states, the further Black us are away from white people and their civilization, the more sane we are. The more when we hear about some man who thinks he was born to be a woman, we laugh at that. We say, what? That's somebody with problems, okay? And even homosexuality, the further away we are from them, the less like Rat City we behave, all right? And so when they undertake this act, the idea that all Black women are awful, and I even saw a post, I won't say the person who put the post together, but I was listening wonderfully to the whole thing, and at the end of it, it was about Cynthia G. The person actually said, and no Black women were coming at Cynthia G to get her channel removed. Of course we couldn't get her channel removed, but we sure came at her relentlessly. Not just as a little tidbit, as an appetizer. And beloved sister, Lashifa, you. It wasn't talking about Cynthia G that got her channel originally removed, but talking against Tommy. But she did such in-depth exposés. So there she was talking against it. But in this video, to say something so drastically all against all Black women when social media is obviously heavily controlled by these colonizers, these nonstop invaders, that screams you're not a good thinker, or you're a scammer. And I had doubts. I had serious doubts from the outset. That's why I stepped away. Lots of channels. Not that I have doubts, but if you go over the edge and you are supporting something destructive to us, I can't stay subscribed. I unsubscribe. And so for the Bedbucks and for the swirlers to just make that blanket claim that all Black people are awful, it's obvious. They do not look outside the bubble of their submission to being slaves. So Bedbucks, it's even worse because, as I say, men and women are not the same. Men are the warriors, the protectors, not only of their families, but of their whole society. And thereby to abandon your family because you have swallowed the stereotyping from our enemy, the enemy to everybody, that's a far more egregious submission. And because it's in the nature of womanhood to look for a champion and to want to submit to him when we're in our same mind. I mean, submitting to some jerk. That means just being so delighted to find your hero. And this is the other tragedy where a man by the name of Cristobal Santana, a bedbug, and this is one of the reasons why I have no love for George Floyd, because he was, all, can we get along? Like someone else we'd heard. But he had, before he injured the policeman, and I wonder if this was just a setup so that, because they find ways, they will get people who were once in the army to do all sorts of stuff just by post-hypnotic suggestion, Manchurian candidate, because he shot this police officer who was trying to stop him. This is the dude, the bedbuck. And they show horrific pictures of the police officer, and then they got to show him with his happy little Becky right there. Again, I don't wish anybody any harm. I'm just saying they will put these articles together to elicit a certain response from the viewing public, so that they'll never expose the fact that behind all of this, they're constantly stoking social media, so that if you are putting forth insane proposals like all black women are awful, all black men are awful, oh, you need to abort all black male fetuses, that they'll give them hundreds of thousands of followers. Do not fall for the delusion that Cynthia G had that many followers because there's that many black women who support being a psychopath. Most of the people watching her were white people. And I'm sure tens of thousands who were pretending to be black women and were nothing of the sort. Right? And so these are the people who actually cause this situation. They're the ones who have de-brained these dudes so that they're going to white people to get their friggin' manly points or their feminine points, and these people don't like you, right? And so I just want to show a picture of the woman that he reportedly murdered before he tried to get away with it. I don't know if he's dead. I'm not interested in the story, the details of the stories. I'm just saying the bedbucks, all right? The bedbucks, and they can't handle the reality that you ain't nothing but a pet to these people. Because this whole idea that white people are just friggin' perfect, and especially white women, she's so much more feminine, she's so much more gentle, and no, you ain't nothing but an animated dildo to her. That's all you are. They got Kanye walking around with a friggin' ape broad shoulder suit. I looked at it, the dimensions of it. I was like, he looked like a gorilla. And that is not an accident, all right? And him walking around with his Italian Becky exposing everything. That's what they want. They want us to be the poster people for what they can't wait to get done, which is their lunacy. They're like in Germany, they've got so many men dying from sexual asphyxiation. Then they've got these sadomasochistical tour boats that launch regularly with hundreds and thousands of passengers. Just stop, okay? They will never highlight who we are. I'm just trying to find photos of her where she not only tossed the child, she started kicking him down the hallway. Right here. She's literally kicking him down the hallway. I was like, what? I thought this was the perfect mother. And I got so many stories, and there's no time for me to do something on each one. I'm actually doing more shares than I should be doing right now because I got to finish writing my Black Love post-apocalyptic book. Oh, the excitement starts right from the outset. But at the same time, when I see two black men just who have no idea, you are not their rescue, dude. I gotta talk about it. We, the black men and the black women, stop being butthurt by these approved of and just deliberately infested into our midst gender war lunatics. The red pill, the blue, I guess it's just the red pill, and the black manosphere. I mean, good Lord, their audiences are so friggin' juvenile. They have to play sound effects. Like, big booming, screaming horn and, explosions and all the rest of it in order to keep the attention of their audiences, because they're just like brain dead. Most of them, I would imagine, if they're on those platforms, they have the lowest caliber of analysis possible. That's just the way it is. Either that or they're spying. But I just want to show you so much for the idea that it's just black women. The biggest misogynists out there are Asian women. And here's one where these Asian women made this video. Asians in love with white boys. And they're not alone in this. There's Asian female comedians who will make fun of their own men's physical anatomy. Right? They were made for you. Every race, they got issues. They got crime. Horrifying crime. Oh, my God. Right? And each of us, we have to champion our own race of people. Otherwise, it's just genocide. It's just genocide. And so the first comment here I thought was very, very good. I am a born in Southeast Asia Quappa. I don't know what that one means. Who just turned 50 years old. I regularly mention my age when potent because it's worth sharing with young. H means Hapa males. That's Asian men who were born in a non-Asian country, and Asian men, that these types of Asian females who advertise themselves as volunteers for the bottom of the barrel white men's sexual outlets generally don't fare well when they reach their mid-30s. They get left, just like these black female swirlers, just get left. Once the little bestiality fetish is gone for the white boys, and I'm not calling us beasts, but for white people, that's what it amounts to. They have more respect for their pets. Okay? It has to do with the unattainable standard they've set them for themselves and the availability of superior quality non-Asian women, including their own Hapa offspring. Meaning white men are just there for the, grins and giggles, and then they move on to the next pet, right? And this whole article is really fascinating. This is an Indian man who, I'll leave a link to these articles because they're quite interesting, where right here he says, this is not to suggest that brown men have it the worst. Women of color, I don't know why we're around calling ourselves people of color. That's just the same old colored people, okay? That's what it means. We have nothing to do with Asian people. Indians are Asians. Kamala Harris, she's one of these people. She ain't black. And obviously, by her lifelong career of the things she's done, she can't stand us. She only pretending. Right? And so but that's what he means. When I see people of color, I just think Indians and Asians, and it has absolutely nothing to do with us, okay? Women of color are often fetishized by white guys while simultaneously rejected or looked down upon by guys from their own community. And so for us black women who think, oh, there's just a black man who do this. And this is also a small portion of the Indian community too, but it happens more ratio-wise amongst non-black, non-white societies than it does with us. But each one has their own separate dilemmas, okay? And so he continues to say, brown men have literally made a career out of fantasizing about dating white women. Oh, Asian men, even Asian men who like to sound like they're pro-Asian. Let there be a movie where an Asian man is with a white woman and they are just dropping it right there and then. I won't go in any more detail, but they are just so bowed over for that homosexualization of their need to find ways to love themselves. That means loving your own woman, putting her first before everybody else. right? Because this is the whole idea that, white people are just perfect. Here's this one. Topless protesters join. I mean, they are just pushing that nudity thing all over the daggone place because these people, I said it at the beginning of when I first showed up on Facebook not Facebook, but YouTube about 7 years ago now. And they are a pendulum swing where they never stabilize with wisdom and logic and reason when it comes to human nature and life and reality. They go from one extreme, right on back to the other because they've got them in their midst who are just trying to control the narrative of everybody so they can steal more stuff. So they're just pushing this nonstop nudity when, no, you are not going to change the nature of men. And so that they're not going to notice, whoa, look at your boobs just a shaking up and down. Men's chests don't shake up and down if they're proud to show them, right? The beer belly dudes usually, hopefully keep your daggone shirts on. Thank you very much. And most of you do. The world loves you for it, that you haven't gone as crazy as Lizzo, who thinks that she could force men to find her attractive, just like the trans sutured up folks. Ooh, if you don't like us, if you're not attracted to us, there's something wrong with you. No, there's something really wrong with you because you are getting hacked to bits in ways that often wind up being permanently scarring and permanently painful, permanently unsatisfying, and you have to constantly get renewed prescriptions so you can say what you think and someone's told you are naturally. There's something wrong with you, right? And so, yeah, no, you ain't gonna, this is the Most High's world, his reality, the way he put it together. You ain't stepping outside of that. You ain't making men something other than what they're meant to be. This nonstop hounding by the satanic elites, all it is waking up a whole bunch of people. The lunacy from the feminists is waking up a whole bunch of people. Right? This like nonstop portrayal of black people as the most perverted on the planet. It's waking up a whole bunch of people. Right? Now, 2/3 are going to go out if they don't wake up soon. Right? And I think it's seeing how easily fooled lots of folks are. Audience in the Black Manosphere, red pill and swirling, divester, level up community. I'm talking about you. Yeah, you in trouble, that's for sure. So topless protesters join French film and TV stars as tens of thousands of activists march through Paris and Rome in campaign against domestic violence, meaning these women get their tails beat by the, who you think, who they with? They with the white man. They with their white men. Getting their tails so beat that they came out in a tour de force nakedness to get people to pay attention to them because their society ordinarily doesn't give enough of a damn to do something about this. You got, what's his name? No, not Anthony Bourdain, but this other guy who's like mildly biracial, who's out there saying, he's looking forward to the day when he gets to just rape women for the heck of it. This is what these folks want. This is what they do. They start conflicts so that they can hide the fact that they're shipping radiation into all our food and all you need is one atom, right? And the rates of I'll have to do a whole nother share about that. It's just crazy. And so all these women out here, right? What do you think this is? The years that they, I guess, died. I don't know what M means, but the different names of the women who probably were murdered by their husbands. I'm just saying, right? And yeah, stop femicides. Feminicides. That's kind of a little clunky there. Maybe it sounds different in French. I don't know. But I'm just saying, okay? We're beautiful people. We're not the worst people on the planet. As a matter of fact, when it comes to telling the full, complete truth about man-made radiation and what it's doing to us, Congratulations. It's your sister right here. And I have to include this. This is reviews from a book. I'm not going to show you what it's about, but it's written by an expatriate white dude who starts drinking first thing in the morning and lives in Vietnam with his new wife. And he ran away from American white women. American, just feminism in general, but these are all white men. And I don't want to showcase him because I would have to talk against what he was portraying, because he's such a white guy, where his wife and his children, the Vietnamese ones, they look scared of him. He starts drinking first thing in the morning. An American white man who starts drinking first thing in the morning is a dangerous man. But when you read the reviews, there's all these other white men who are just like saluting him. Yo, dude, you know, help me save my balls from these terrible women. And right here, keep your pimp hand strong. What? Okay? No, we are not the worst people on the planet. I'm not saying who owns that title. I'm just saying each race has to save its own. When running away ain't the answer. So go on over to 25,000yearcycle.org. Escape the algorithm. You will find healing here. From pillar to post. You just read the articles. And I ain't kidding. I have never been as strong as I am right now. And I've been following the precise recommendations Dr. She has given me. Because through Arna, they have specifically studied Black you and me. With the white doctors, they don't study Black you and me, other than secretly our melanin, because they're scared to death of us, all right? But because of that, I am running. My bat wings are gone. Hallelujah, my bat wings are gone. Ain't got no pains. I'm good. Now, I'm not saying that in the future I won't have them again, because, I'm an organic being. But in the meantime, right now, my goodness, 60-year-old me be running like nobody's business. At the end of my run, I can still break out in a just speed up race against the last time that I sped up in race, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days back. Okay? And so get that healing right on over here. Find out all you need to know according to Black you and me. And you can find my soap. I thank the 2 beautiful people who put in soap orders. You just such a rescue. I need more of us to do that so I could get that equipment to test our food for radiation, because these dudes, they ain't going to do it, okay? And so you just scroll on through and you are going to find what you need. The pine powder. Oh, that's some powerful stuff right there, okay? That's vitamin D in a natural form, okay? And so, yeah, we're good. I know that I'm not the only Black woman who has found absolute serenity living with a Black man. Been with him for 15 years, and I don't have to go to nobody's protest. I do not support abuse of women or abuse of men, 100%. All right? But I'm just saying, be discerning. Be healing in the way you think so that you can find your appropriate opposite sex Black partner for life. Straight Black family pride is our map to everything we want. Say it loud, say it proud, and never stop. Peace and blessings.